I've been studying for 3 months now, right? 3 months, Max. Every single day. App, flashcards, YouTube videos, the whole thing. And yesterday I walked into that meeting and my mind just went completely blank, like someone pulled the plug. I couldn't form one sentence, not one.
How long? Every day?
Like 30, 40 minutes, sometimes more. I even kept my streak going, not one day missed.
And you're proud of that streak?
I mean, yeah, it felt like progress.
It was progress, Sarah. Real progress. That's not the problem.
Then what is the problem?
The problem is, nobody told you what to do after the streak. Nobody told you what comes next. And that gap, that exact gap, is where most German learners get stuck. For months, sometimes years.
There's a next?
There's always a next. And today we talk about it. 3 months of real effort, real dedication, and still frozen in a meeting. This isn't a talent problem, it's a method problem. And today we fix it. Welcome to German Bridge with Max. Today's episode is a little different. We're not fixing one word or one grammar rule. We're fixing something bigger, the moment every dedicated German learner eventually hits, where the method that got them started stops being enough. Sarah is at that moment right now. And honestly, if you've been studying for a few months and something still feels off, you probably are too. By the end of this conversation, you'll understand exactly what's happening, why it happens to the best students, and 3 specific shifts that change everything. Let's go.
I'm nervous, but ready.
Good. Nervous means you're paying attention. All right, let's start with what's actually happening in your brain when you study. Sarah, when you do your flashcards, walk me through it. Exactly what happens.
Okay, so I see the German word on one side and I think about the English meaning. If I get it right, I tap done. If I don't, it comes back around.
And when you see the word and you know the answer, how does that feel?
Good? Like satisfying, like a little win.
That feeling is real. That win is real. But here's what's also true. Your brain is recognizing the word, not retrieving it. And those 2 things feel identical from the inside. But they are completely different when it counts.
What's the difference?
Recognition is, you see the word, your brain confirms it. Retrieval is, nothing is in front of you and your brain has to go find it completely on its own. In that meeting, nobody held up a flashcard. Your brain needed to retrieve. And it had only ever practiced recognizing.
Oh, that's exactly what happened. Like I knew the words, I just couldn't grab them.
Exactly. The words were there. The retrieval muscle hadn't been trained. So shift number 1 is this. Before you look at any answer, you speak it, you write it, you produce the German word or sentence from nothing. Then you check. That struggle you feel before the answer comes? That is not frustration. That is your brain actually building something permanent.
So the easy feeling was actually the warning sign.
The easy feeling meant the app had done its job. It introduced you to the language. Now your job is to take it further. Abrufen, to retrieve, to recall. That's the skill you're building now. And the app gave you the perfect starting point to build it from.
Abrufen. Okay, I like that. Okay, but I feel like I should defend the app for a second. Because genuinely, before I started using it, German felt completely impossible to me. Like a wall I couldn't even touch, and the app made it feel reachable.
And that is exactly what it was designed to do. Getting someone from 0 to I can do this, that is not a small thing. Most people who want to learn a language never start because it feels too big. The app solved that problem for you. You started. You stayed consistent for 3 months. That foundation is real.
So I didn't waste 3 months.
You didn't waste a single day. You built a foundation. What we're doing now is building the house on top of it. You can't build the house in the warm-up, but you absolutely need the warm-up first.
Okay, that reframe helps so much. I've been feeling like an idiot all week.
You're not an idiot. You're a dedicated learner who hit the natural ceiling of one tool and needs to add more tools. That's not failure, that's just the next stage.
The next stage. Okay, I can do the next stage.
I know you can. Shift number 2. Sarah, in a normal study week, roughly how much time are you spending consuming German versus producing it?
Consuming, meaning watching, listening, reading.
Yes. And producing meaning, speaking, writing, forming your own sentences from scratch.
Honestly, probably 80–90% consuming, the rest producing, maybe less.
That ratio is holding you back. And it's not your fault most beginner tools are built around input. You listen, you read, you absorb. That's correct for the beginning, but at your stage, you need to flip it.
Flip it, meaning more speaking than listening?
Not necessarily more, but closer to equal. Here's why. Input teaches you what German sounds like. Output teaches your brain to use it. There's a German concept, Sprachgefühl, a feel for the language, literally, language feeling. It's that instinct where something just sounds right. You develop that only by producing, by speaking imperfectly, noticing what feels wrong, and adjusting.
So speaking badly is actually part of the process.
Speaking badly is required by the process. There's no shortcut around it. Übung macht den Meister. Practice makes perfect. Literally, practice makes the master. You know this idea in English too.
Practice makes perfect.
Same concept. But Meister, master, implies a longer road, a higher standard, and a deeper commitment. The app got you onto the road. Now you walk it.
So practically, what does this look like?
You talk to yourself in German while you make coffee in the morning. You describe what you're doing. Ich mache Kaffee. I am making coffee. Es ist Montag und ich bin müde. It is Monday and I am tired. You write a 3-sentence journal entry in German every night. You don't wait until you're good enough to speak. You speak to get good enough. That's the sequence.
Talk to myself in German, I'll feel ridiculous.
You'll feel ridiculous for about 4 days. Then it'll feel normal. Then it'll feel necessary.
4 days of ridiculous. I can survive that.
I want to tell you something I don't say often. When I was learning my second language, not German, a different one, I made this exact mistake. Months of input, podcasts, books, films. I was incredibly well prepared in theory.
And in practice.
In practice, I sat across from a native speaker and produced the linguistic equivalent of a very confused tourist reading a map upside down.
No.
I understood every word they said. My responses came out in the wrong order, wrong tense, wrong register. My brain had the map. My mouth had never learned the roads.
The map and the roads, I remember this from last time.
Good, because it applies here too. Input draws the map. Output builds the roads. You need both. The app drew your map beautifully. Now we build roads.
Okay, I love this framework so much.
Use it. Teach it to someone else. That's also output practice, by the way.
You're sneaky, Max.
I prefer thorough. Shift number 3. This is the one that will change your German the fastest once you apply it. Most learners at every stage study language in isolation.
Meaning?
Meaning they learn words as words. Apfel, apple. Büro, office. Besprechung, meeting. Correct, useful, necessary. But language doesn't live in isolation. It lives in situations. And when you only know isolated words without the surrounding context of how they're used, who says them, when, and why, you freeze in real situations. Because nothing in your preparation looked like a real situation.
So I learned the word for meeting, but not what you actually say inside one.
Exactly. You know Besprechung. But do you know, ich würde gerne das Wort ergreifen? I'd like to take the floor. Do you know, darf ich kurz unterbrechen? May I briefly interrupt? Do you know, könnten Sie das bitte wiederholen? Could you please repeat that?
None of those. Not a single one.
Those are the sentences that matter in a real German workplace. Not, the apple is on the table. Not, my name is Sarah. Real, functional language for real, functional moments. And this is the next evolution of how you use every tool you already have, including your app. Instead of doing random vocabulary, you pick a scenario, a meeting, a phone call, a performance review, and you use every resource available to learn everything around that scenario.
So it's not about getting new tools, it's about using the tools I have differently.
Precisely. Szenario-basiertes Lernen. Scenario-based learning. Same app, same flashcards, same YouTube videos, but now everything you study connects to a real situation you're preparing for. The vocabulary sticks because it has a home. It belongs somewhere.
That's kind of brilliant. Why didn't anyone tell me this earlier?
Because most courses are built to keep you studying indefinitely, not to make you functional quickly. Functional quickly is our goal here.
Functional quickly. That's going on a sticky note on my desk.
And now I want to name something because I think it'll help you understand exactly where you are right now. It's called the intermediate plateau.
I've heard of this. Is it as bad as it sounds?
It sounds worse than it is once you understand it. Here's what happens. For the first 2 to 3 months, progress is fast and visible. New words every day, new sentences, new sounds. It feels incredible. Then it slows down. The easy wins are gone. The hard stuff, real conversation, professional language, complex sentences, feels distant. And because the progress isn't visible anymore, a lot of people assume they've hit their limit.
And they stop.
Most of them, yes. But here's what's actually true. The plateau isn't a ceiling. It's a gear change. The beginner gear got you here faster than any other gear could. Now you need a different gear to go further. That's all this is.
A gear change, not a wall.
Never a wall. Just a different gear. And the 3 shifts we talked about today, producing instead of just recognizing, balancing input with output, learning in real scenarios, those are the new gear. You already have the engine. You already have 3 months of fuel. You just needed to shift.
Okay, I feel so much better than when I walked in here.
Good. That was the goal. Let me bring this into the real world for a moment. In a German professional setting, the expectation is not perfection. Nobody expects a non-native speaker to sound like they grew up in Munich, but the expectation is functionality. Can you contribute? Can you hold your position in a room? Can you respond when someone speaks to you?
And right now, under pressure, I can't.
Under pressure right now, you freeze. And in German business culture, silence at the wrong moment carries a meaning. It reads as unconfident, unprepared, neither of which reflects who you actually are.
No, neither of those is true.
So the 3 months you put in that work was real, and it matters. The foundation is solid. What we're adding now is the layer that makes the foundation visible to the people around you. Your colleagues, your boss, your clients. Right now they see effort. After these 3 shifts, they'll see capability.
From effort to capability, that's what I want.
That's what every professional wants. And it's completely within reach. Not in 3 years, not after another 100 flashcard streaks. In 60 days of the right method, you will not recognize your own German.
60 days.
60 days of the right gear. That's it.
Okay, let me say it all back because I need it locked in.
Go ahead.
Shift, one stop, just recognizing start producing. Before I check any answer, I say it out loud first. The struggle before the answer is the actual learning.
Correct.
Shift to balance input and output. Talk to myself in German, write small journal entries, describe my day. The map is drawn, now build the roads.
Also correct.
Shift 3, stop studying random words. Pick real scenarios, meetings, calls, reviews, and learn everything around them. Same tools, smarter focus.
That's all 3. And the foundation your first 3 months built?
Not wasted. It's what makes all of this possible.
Exactly right. You didn't start over today. You leveled up.
I leveled up.
Don't get too comfortable. The next level has its own challenges.
Of course it does. You know what I keep thinking about? All those people who hit that plateau and just quietly stopped. Convinced themselves they weren't a language person.
It happens more than you'd think. And it's always the same story. Real effort, wrong gear, invisible progress, give up. The talent was never the issue.
I almost became that story.
But you didn't. You asked questions. You looked for what was missing instead of blaming yourself. That matters more than any streak.
Thank you, Max. Actually,
Thank me when you stop freezing in meetings. That'll be the real payment.
deal. Okay, so what's coming next? What's the next thing waiting to trip me up?
Your performance review is in 2 weeks, isn't it?
Don't remind me.
I'm going to remind you, because talking about yourself professionally in German, your achievements, your value, your goals, is one of the hardest things for non-native speakers to get right. Too direct, and you sound arrogant. Too soft, and you disappear completely. German has a very specific middle lane for this, a way of presenting yourself that lands with authority and earns respect. Almost nobody teaches it.
The middle lane. I need the middle lane desperately.
Next video, that's exactly where we go. And if you want to walk into that review ready, hit subscribe. It takes 2 seconds, and it might be the most useful 2 seconds before that meeting.
2 seconds for the middle lane. Genuinely the best deal I've heard all week.
Bis zum nächsten Video. Until the next video.
Bis zum nächsten Video.
Getting better.
Getting better, not perfect.